Google winner, wellness, improve your health and your nutrition. Call 770-536-6600.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Winter Wellness Podcast. I'm Mike Stewart. I am the guest host here, and we've got Jeanne Winter, the nutrition expert at Winter Wellness, on board today to answer some questions that you need to know in these trying times. Jeanne, are you here?
I'm here. I'm here, Mike.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to hear the information you're about to give us today. I know it's going to help a lot of people. So, number one, how can nutrition help with a compromised immune system?
You know, there's the interest in the immune system right now is very high, and that is a good thing because the immune system is your internal defense against viruses, bacteria, and other pathogens that might get into your system. So I'm going to talk about that immune system so that we get an idea of what it actually is. You know, that's a very broad subject. Well, we're going to talk about the special forces that exist in your body that will fight for you and that will destroy any virus that dares enter your body. And whenever we have the situation where a virus gets into your system, right away an alarm is sounded. It's called the immune alarm. And that sets off a chain reaction. And all of these immune cells are mobilized to defend the body against attack. So you have your first responders. I call them your first responders. As soon as that alarm is sounded that there's a virus in your system or a bacteria or other pathogen, the first responders, those are the macrophages, the basophils, and the neutrophils. They come in and they attack the invading virus, destroy them. And that usually does the job. Now, in the event that the virus is particularly strong or comes back, then your body mobilizes the special forces. The special forces are immune cells that are called T cells, B cells. These are your lymphocytes. And what they do is they recognize that specific pathogen. In the case of virus, they recognize this virus tried to come in before. Now it's back again. And they target that and they finish the job. In other words, they destroy those. So the question is, Mike, we have these special forces in our bodies already ready to defend us from attack from any virus, no matter what it is. And as we know, viruses change and evolve and get stronger or whatever. This special forces in our body can attack and destroy any virus. So the real question we should be asking is, why is are those special forces not active in someone who has a compromised immune system? And how can we keep our internal defense immune cells active and working for us and protecting us from infection? That's what we really should be asking. So it really boils down to how healthy are we keeping our bodies? Now, I'm going to talk just a minute before we're going to get into what foods should we be eating to help our immune cells. But I'm going to give us a little bit of background here because we want to know, where do these immune cells come from? You know, where are they born? Where are they made? So where all of your cells are made is in your bone marrow. And most people are familiar that inside of your bones, especially your long bones, such as your leg bones and arm bones, your bones are hollow, right? So inside of your bones, you have a material that's called the marrow or the bone marrow. And this bone marrow does a lot of work for you. And inside the bone marrow is where your stem cells reside. And those stem cells are making not only red cells, but they are also making immune cells. So this is where your immune cells are born. They come from the bone marrow. And then they are either transported to the spleen or the thymus gland, depending on what their duties are going to be. And that's kind of where they mature, and then they're released into the bloodstream. So the key to having a good, strong immune system is having a healthy bone marrow, healthy stem cells that are making these immune cells. And also, because these are living cells, they have to eat. You have to think in those terms. Living cells need specific nutrients in order to function and perform the duties they were designed to do. So, one thing is you want to think about is keeping your bone marrow healthy so that it produces your immune cells. And what your bone marrow needs is protein. Protein, iron, folic acid, vitamin B12, calcium, and vitamin C. So number one on the top of that list is protein. What it needs is specifically from protein is called amino acids. Amino acids come from protein. And, you have to look at two sources of protein. We have our animal proteins, and then we have our vegetable proteins. So in the case of needing to mobilize proteins quickly, then you want to go with your animal sources. Now, if you are vegan or vegetarian, then you'll need to supplement with more concentrated plant sources, because in your plant foods, while they do have proteins, they're not as concentrated as they are in your animal sources. So depending upon the special diets that you're on, you can make those adjustments. But right now, we're just going to talk about those foods. We're not going to talk about special diets, vegan versus non-vegan. We're just going to look at the foods themselves, and then you can decide what foods that you can get your proteins from. So protein, your bone marrow needs at least 46 to 56 grams of protein a day. So the richest source of protein and amino acids are going to be your meat, poultry, fish, dairy foods, red meats. And then you've got your legumes and vegetables, which we will talk about. So iron is one of the nutrients that is needed as your bone marrow is producing red cells. Iron is critical. Now, don't run out and go buy iron from the store and think that's going to do the job, because you can overload your body with iron supplementation. So number one, you want to talk to someone who has more expertise in supplements. Supplements can be very, very helpful, especially if you're deficient and you literally cannot eat the amounts of vegetables or animal sources of foods to offset the deficiencies. That's where a good quality supplement can come in handy. But please talk to someone, a holistic practitioner, Many chiropractors are versed in supplementation, and oftentimes they have on their staff nutritionists. Talk to a nutritionist or naturopathic or holistic practitioner who is versed in supplementation and in nutrients and in diet. Don't try to do that if you aren't an expert in that area, because you could do more harm than good. So too much iron from the wrong source is worse. So where iron comes in is that it builds the hemoglobin count. It helps build the red blood cell. And not only iron, but you need folic acid. Now, where do you get folic acid? Besides a supplement, you can also get it from brown rice, because it is found in the bran or the coating of the brown rice that has not been polished off. That's where you find your B vitamins. Folic acid is a B vitamin. It's abundant in foods such as broccoli, Brussels sprouts, spinach, and chickpeas. Then you want to look at vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 should come from a food source. And beef liver is one of your most concentrated forms of vitamin B12. So are clams, fish, poultry, eggs, dairy products. And if you can get the raw dairy products, that's even better. Legumes, and of course, vegetables. We're also looking at calcium. Calcium is key to the immune function. So from calcium, you can get that from raw almonds, from tofu. You will have to eat a lot of tofu, but you can get it from tofu. You can get it from raw dairy products. And when we're talking about calcium, we're talking about the bioavailable active form of calcium, not the forms of calcium that are not absorbed or assimilated by the body. Other foods that contain calcium are kale, collard greens, mustard greens, bok choy. Then you want to think about when you do eat that steak, bone in. When you do cook that roast, but get the bone in versions. Chicken, you should have bone in because you are getting some minerals from those bones. Salmon has a lot of calcium. And you can even incorporate canned salmon when you can't get fresh. You can incorporate canned salmon, but eat the bones that are in the canned salmon. They're very soft. You can make a salmon patty out of that, or you can eat it straight from the can and eat the bones as well. So these are things that we want to do on a daily basis. We don't want to wait until we have become compromised and high risk for infection. We want to do that now. And I think right now a lot of people are at home, and this is a good time to renew our cooking skills and our kitchen skills. Too often during the rush of work and schedules, most people have had to just eat convenience foods, drive through, and have not been able to take the time to really relearn their cooking skills and food preparation skills. So now's a good time to do that. And there are actually online companies now you can order your groceries through, so you don't have to get out if you're quarantining yourself. But take this time to get into a new routine with preparing and choosing healthy foods and eating those on a regular basis. And I think if more people do that, if we do that, then we will have less of these types of outbreaks. At least, you and your family will be protected.
Wow, that is amazing information. I can't believe all the things that you have shared with me. And in fact, it's things that I didn't know, Jeanne. It was thinking about just one little thing you mentioned that I think is interesting, and it just shows you that you need to listen to this podcast about 20 times. That's what I recommend, folks. I didn't think about, there's a myth. I Googled it while you were talking, Jeanne. It said eating the bones of canned salmon is bad for you. And it says clearly it's a great source of calcium, and those soft bones are left in that canned salmon because it's good for you. And right. if you ask the public, is it okay to eat fish bones? They go, no, it's not okay. So it's like I said, knowledge is power. What I learned from what you taught today in a sentence is, if you eat garbage, you're going to have a garbage immune system.
That's right.
Bottom line. If you eat, and I'll tell you one of the things that this is being recorded right in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic. I think this is forcing people to realize that they got to stop eating poorly. They got to start taking care of their bodies. They got to start getting education. They need to pay attention to the things, and good nutrition will make a better immune system. I didn't know that marrow is where the white blood cells and the cells to do the work, to be the army for your body, are made. So if you starve the army, the country's going to die. And
that's right. You feed that army.
So you got to feed that army, and you better feed them well and give them exactly what they want. So, are any final comments that you want to tell people? Obviously, you should go to winterwellness.com. You should share this podcast with others on Apple, Spotify, and Google. We're everywhere. We're going to be having this podcast on YouTube. We want to get the information out, but here's your chance to tell people what you can do at the Winter Wellness Center to help them if they have any concerns. I assume you invite people to call, schedule an appointment. The floor is yours to tell people what you want to do, and this has been a great episode.
Oh, thank you. Yes. As a matter of fact, we have designated April as Immune System Month, and we are putting a sign out inviting anyone who wants us to check their immune system for them and find out if they're deficient in anything, and give them direct one-on-one help with getting their immune system strong. They're invited to do that free of charge. We also have our Wellness Day, April 18th. That's a Saturday that the public is invited to come in and meet with us, and we will do an evaluation of their entire system free of charge. Also, if you're long distance away from Gainesville, Georgia, you can contact me directly through my email and also through our office phone. And I do telehealth consultations that I can, if you can either email or fax me your recent blood work, I can look over that and I can give you some direction on areas that you can improve on your health and your immune system.
Well, awesome. That sounds great. So be sure to check out winterwellness.com. The phone number is at the top of the website. Call Jeanne's email address is Jeanne Winter, Jean, one N, correct, one N-E, Winter @gmail.com. You can email her. We want to help. We want you to reach out. And this has been the Winter Wellness Podcast. And we will see you shortly in another episode covering another interesting topic. Great show. I learned a whole bunch, and I'm going to pay attention. Thank you, Jeanne.
You're welcome, Mike.
Winter Wellness. Improve your health and your nutrition. Call 770-536-6600.
Welcome to Winter Wellness. Dr. Jack Winter specializes in chiropractic, applied kinesiology, emotional stress release, muscle with ligament tears, allergy elimination, circulatory impediment, and nerve pressure. Dr. Winter is an acknowledged leader in both the understanding and treatment of almost all health-related conditions. Uniquely, he accomplishes this without the use of drugs and surgery. With over 30 years of experience, he continues to incorporate the best and innovative ideas and techniques for one single purpose: to enhance your body's ability to heal and regenerate itself. Jeanne Winter, CCNND, is a specialist in nutrition counseling, hormonal imbalances, weight management, allergies, and custom nutrition programs. A certified clinical nutritionist since 1998, individually designed nutrition and weight loss programs is her specialty, with nutrition coaching, custom cleanses, herb, vitamin supplements, saliva hormone testing, and natural bioidentical hormones. Weight management, nutrition coach, allergies, food intolerances, and digestive challenges. Jack and Jeanne Winter are the folks to help you improve your life at Winter Wellness.
Google Winter Wellness. Improve your health and your nutrition. Call 770-536-6600.